So, how can you decrease your risk of breast cancer? Some lifestyle factors have been associated with a decrease or increased risk of breast cancer. In this section, we will discuss several factors including body weight, eating fruits and vegetables, drinking alcohol, exercising, smoking, and night shift work. The relationship between body weight and breast cancer risk is complex. Risk is influenced by body weight, menopausal status, and weight gain over time. While some studies suggest being overweight before menopause is linked to decreased risk of breast cancer, weight gain should be avoided because weight gain before menopause can be carried into the postmenopausal years when the risk of breast cancer is highest. Women who are overweight or obese after menopause have a 20 to 60% higher risk of breast cancer than those who are lean. Women who gained weight as adults have a higher risk of developing breast cancer before and after menopause. According to one study, women who gained 20 pounds or more after menopause had an 18% higher risk of breast cancer compared to those who gained little or no weight after menopause. When it comes to weight loss, not all studies show a link between weight loss and breast cancer risk. However, one study found women who lost 4 to 20 pounds after menopause and kept the weight off had about 10 to 15% lower risk of breast cancer compared to those whose weight stayed the same. Women who lost more than about 20 pounds had about a 25% lower risk. The American Cancer Society recommends achieving and maintaining a healthy weight throughout life. A well-balanced diet can help control weight gain. When preparing meals, be conscious of portion sizes, especially if you are trying to control your weight. Recommended portion sizes are smaller than most people realize. To learn more, you can visit the Risk Factors section on Komen.org. A few dietary factors appear to be related to breast cancer risk. The first one is fruits and vegetables. Eating fruits may help lower breast cancer risk. A meta-analysis that combined the results of 15 studies found that women who ate the largest quantity of fruit had a slightly lower risk of breast cancer than women who ate the smallest amount of fruit. And eating vegetables may help lower the risk of some types of breast cancer. A pooled analysis of 20 studies found that eating a higher intake of vegetables was linked to a lower risk of estrogen receptor-negative breast cancers, but for some reason, not estrogen receptor-positive breast cancers. We're not sure why that is. Carotenoids are natural orange-red food pigments found in fruits and vegetables. A pooled analysis of 8 studies found women with higher blood levels of carotenoids had a reduced risk of breast cancer compared to women with lower levels. Alcohol is another dietary factor associated with breast cancer risk. Many studies have shown women who drink alcohol have an increased risk of breast cancer. An analysis of data from more than 50 studies showed women who have 2 to 3 alcoholic drinks per day have about a 20% higher risk of breast cancer than women who don't drink. Alcohol can change the way estrogen works in the body and cause blood levels of estrogen to rise. Elevated estrogen levels are also linked to an increased risk of breast cancer. No one should drink a lot of alcohol. Women who choose to drink are advised to limit their alcohol intake to 1 drink or less per day. A drink is 1 bottle of regular beer, a 5-ounce glass of wine, or 1.5 ounces of liquor. Studies have shown that some dietary factors do not contribute to breast cancer risk. For example, caffeine from both coffee and tea, and sugar, including sweetened beverages, are not linked to a risk of breast cancer. However, eating a lot of sugar or drinking a lot of sugar-sweetened beverages can lead to weight gain, which is linked to an increased risk of breast cancer. Many dietary factors are under study for possible links to increased or in some cases decreased breast cancer risk. They include dairy products, dietary fat, fiber, folate or folic acid, meat consumption, soy, and vitamin D. To learn more, you can visit the Risk Factors section on Komen.org. Regular exercise is linked to a lower risk of breast cancer. Women who get regular exercise have a 10 to 20% lower risk of breast cancer than those who aren't active. This benefit is illustrated most clearly in postmenopausal women. Exercise can help limit weight gain. It also makes you stronger and promotes an overall sense of well-being. Getting started with exercise doesn't have to be hard. Choose activities that you enjoy, so you will be motivated to continue exercising on a regular basis. Walking is an excellent and simple option. Walking at a steady pace for 30 minutes, 3 to 5 days per week, is a good starting point. These 30 minutes don't have to be completed all at once. For example, you could have 2 15-minute walks or 3 10-minute walks. Exercise can also be built into your daily routine. Walk to the store instead of driving if you can. If you drive, instead of taking the closest parking spot, park further away from the store and walk. You can also take the stairs instead of an elevator. If you work at a desk, get up every hour to stretch and take a short walk. These small changes in your routine can make a big difference. If you have been inactive for a long period, are overweight, or have other medical conditions, discuss exercising with your healthcare provider before you begin. They can help you get started safely. To learn more, you can visit the Risk Factors section on Komen.org. Smoking is another lifestyle-related risk factor. Women who smoke for many years may have a slightly increased risk of breast cancer. Women who are current smokers and have been smoking for more than 10 years appear to have about a 10% higher risk of breast cancer than women who've never smoked. In comparison, women who are current smokers but have smoked for less than 10 years don't appear to have an increased risk of breast cancer. Researchers are still studying whether past smokers have an increased risk of breast cancer. While smoking may only be linked to a slight increase in breast cancer risk, quitting or never starting to smoke is one of the best things you can do for your health. If you don't smoke, don't start. If you do smoke, consider trying to quit as soon as possible. As soon as you quit smoking, your body begins a series of positive improvements that continue for years, including a lower risk of many types of cancer. If you want to quit smoking but don't know where to start, talk with your healthcare provider. They can talk to you about the available options and help you decide which one is right for you. Finally, studies show that women who work night shifts for many years might have a slightly higher risk of breast cancer. One possible reason for this increased risk is exposure to light at night. However, more research is needed to understand which aspects of shift work may be related to breast cancer risk. While there is no way to prevent breast cancer with healthy lifestyle behaviors, there are several things you can do to help lower your risk of developing breast cancer and other diseases. The most important thing you can do is to take a proactive role in your health and medical care. So talk with your healthcare provider to understand your risk of breast cancer and together develop a breast care plan that's right for you. More information about risk factors is available in the Risk Factors section of the Komen website.